Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Spook Central Podcast, your place for all manner of ghoulish and horrific things. I am your host, Addison Preston, and I'm here with my co-host, Nicholas Rittenhouse. Now, last time we were here, we did some horror matchups in a sort of March Madness bracket style, and now it's a lot closer to March than it was last time.
It's been a while.
We've been away for
Couple months.
I think like almost 3 months actually at this point, maybe more. Because I'm pretty sure actually last time we were doing this was October, and it's now February.
Back during true spooky season.
Yeah, and so Happy New Year, everyone.
Merry
welcome
Christmas.
back. Anyway, so we should just get right into this because I'm sure everyone's been anxiously waiting. So when we left off, we had Jack, the miner from My Bloody Valentine, which is actually pretty suitable because we're filming today on Valentine's Day, which we should have done something special for it, but we didn't.
Oh, so we're back. That's our Valentine's Day special.
It's a special moment. Anyway, and then we had Death Angel versus Pinhead as our next one after that. Candyman and Jason, and then Michael Myers and Predator. All right, so I'm not going to really explain the rules too much because I'm hoping most people would have watched the first part, considering this is a part 2. But just going briefly over it, anyone has their they have their main weapons that they use. So like Jason would have his machete, Michael Myers will have his chef's knife, Pinhead will have
Hooks.
Okay, yeah, he'll have his hooks. I think that's what we said last time too.
Probably.
And then for something like a Death Angel, it's just gonna have itself as its weapon, and then from there, it's sort of like a neutral fighting setting. So, but there's some exceptions because like Jack kind of needs the power of the Overlook in order to really be anything other than just Jack.
Yeah.
But people like, Jason's not going to have his home turf to deal with. He's just going to have his machete. Mm-hmm. Michael, same with him.
We're not going to stick the Predator in a jungle. That would be an
unfair advantage. Right? So it's like a neutral fighting space that just it's like it's a wrestling tournament,
They give it put them in a coliseum kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a gladiator match. Okay, well, let's just get right into it here with the first one, with Jack Torrance versus the Miner.
See, I don't know much about the Miner. I've never seen My Bloody Valentine.
You should.
I should. I was going to watch it tonight, but
do it.
Yeah,
it's Valentine's Day.
But I do know enough about Jack Torrance.
Yeah. Okay, so who are you rooting for in this one right now?
I don't know how much stronger Jack gets than a regular human. Because I know the Miner is a very strong human being, but at the end of the day, he's just human.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. We're working with the Jack Torrance that was, in the original The Shining. We're not dealing with, the ghost Jack from Dr. Sleep. And so he can die. At the end of the day, he can die. And we never technically see the Miner die. He never dies. Because...
But he's a slasher villain.
Yeah. Well, he only has one... Okay, he has 2 movies, but the second one's a reboot. Mm-hmm. And we're just dealing with the original, the Miner. And we're not dealing with Harry Warden. It's the legend of Harry Warden, but it's not Harry Warden.
Yeah.
And so the Miner gets his hand cut off at the end. And then he just kind of runs away laughing into a tunnel. It's a really creepy ending.
But we see Jack is able to be injured because of what happened with him. I forget how he got his limp, but as he's limping.
Oh, yeah,
he's truly able to be injured. So I honestly feel
because at the end of the day, Jack... Well, I mean, both of these characters are just humans.
The power of the Overlook clearly isn't enough to put him above.
Well, no, the power of the Overlook more so just makes him see stuff and go insane. It's not necessarily oh, you're immortal now.
He doesn't use his shine the way that the...
Well, that's because Jack doesn't have the shine. He doesn't have the shine. It's just Danny that has it.
I feel like Jack has to have it to some extent.
No, because the shine is something that's associated with the Overlook, but the shine itself is not something that is needed to do what Jack does. It's more so just 2 things that are in the same story. Because there's a very specific set of circumstances that kind of needs to happen. It's not really displayed out in any of the movies, but having the shine is something very specific. And there's actually some theories that the kids from It have the shine because of how they deal with Pennywise. But almost always it comes in the form of kids who are abused. They end up getting it.
Or
as like one of the
awakens.
base things. And so Jack doesn't have the shine from what I've seen.
I feel like he has to some extent for the Overlook to latch onto him the way it did.
But I think the reason the Overlook latches onto him is because Danny's there.
Maybe.
So
That's possible.
I don't think I think he is just human and he's just going insane, at least in the movie version.
If he's just an insane human, then I give it to the Miner.
Yeah.
Because the Miner is stronger, he's probably a more skilled killer.
Oh yeah,
and
well he kills more people.
Jack
for
isn't
sure.
like he has a helmet, so I'd argue that
that too.
He's
like,
also
he's
protected
definitely
more.
Protected.
Jack is just crazy, and he's not mentally there.
And I mean, if we're talking kill counts here, Jack only ever kills one person.
Mm-hmm.
I think, yeah.
I think it's just one.
Yeah, well, because there's only 2 kills in the movie, and the second one is Jack freezing to death.
Yeah.
So yeah, he only kills Dick Halloran in the movie because we're going by the movie version. And then the Miner, oh gosh, it's probably in like at least 10, something like that. And like some of them are really brutal kills. Like he does an upward swing with his pickaxe right through here, and like it pops like their eye. It's a great effect. I'm so glad that it was added back in the special edition because it looks amazing. But I think he's a more prolific killer, and he's a stronger killer as well.
When it comes to 2 human characters, it mostly comes down to strength and skill, and I give both to the Miner.
Okay, yeah. So we'll give that to the Miner then.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so there's our first matchup done.
We'll get the Miner into our semis.
Yeah, let's go. Maybe he might. I doubt he's gonna come off on top of this thing because we have some freaking insane people.
On his side of the bracket, I don't even think he's coming out on top.
Well, yeah, well, like even some of the ones that lost last time, he would lose to, right? Like
he got a lucky parent.
Well, because he was paired with Ghostface, like the Stu version.
Yeah.
And so he had an advantage over that. But like even if he was paired up with like the werewolf from An American Werewolf in London, he would have just died.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like the Tall Man. Like the Tall Man lost against Pinhead, which is one of our next seeds here.
Which is we put 2 powerhouses against each other.
Yeah, exactly. But I can't remember why Pinhead won out, but I think it's just because the Tall Man doesn't do too much himself.
Pinhead's probably he's more able to kill.
Yeah. All right, well, then moving on to the next one. We have a Death Angel versus Pinhead.
I don't see much competition in this one. Because I don't know, you've seen A Quiet Place 1 and 2.
Yeah, I've seen
But
both.
you're not very familiar with the Hellraiser series.
No. Well, I mean, you love A Quiet Place, though.
I do. These are some of my favorite horror movies that we're talking about. So my thing is, Pinhead, as a character, he's a priest of hell.
Yeah.
And as we see in the movies, he can manipulate these chains into whatever form he wants. Like, not to whatever form, but in ways that don't really mean, like, that shouldn't really happen.
I think,
because they can come out of thin air. It doesn't have to make sense. They don't have to come from an angle you'd expect.
Yeah, well, I think... Okay, so can he penetrate their armor? Because their body armor is really strong.
More than likely, yeah.
Like, if he can, like, make them appear out of thin air, could he theoretically make them appear already in their body?
No, but he could make them appear at an angle where he can probably get under the, like, because they have cracks in their face armor.
Yeah, they have cracks in their plates, but usually those cracks are only accessible if there's, like, a high-pitched volume.
I also don't
So does he have any experience with radio technology?
Only when he makes a Cenobite with the radio.
Wait, actually? Oh, well, okay, then I would say, yeah, he wins.
He makes a Cenobite with a radio in Hellraiser 3 or 4.
Okay, so then...
It's Hellraiser 3.
Do you think... And I mean, the other thing is Pinhead has the smarts.
He's a genius.
Like, yeah, he's a genius, so... I think he could theoretically figure out, okay, that this is how you kill them. Let me, turn up the static, and then...
He also has, I don't know if it's an actual thing, but whenever he speaks, his voice booms in all of the shots that he's speaking in.
Okay, yeah.
Especially in the first movie, because he doesn't speak much. He's just lead Cenobite. He's not Pinhead.
Yeah,
But in all the first movie, his voice booms whenever they speak, and they make it very loud.
Uh-huh.
And it's very, like, overwhelming. Not high-pitched, but it's also very...
Yeah, well, because high-pitched is what gets them, right? Like, a booming voice won't get them.
But I wonder if he, like, shrieked, if he could create the kind of frequency needed.
Probably. I would say probably not, but I think he's still going to win out in this one anyway. Because this is just one... We agreed that this was just one Death Angel.
Yeah, and I don't think it could kill him, regardless.
No.
Because he can't die unless they use the other configuration.
Yeah, which the Death Angels aren't gonna figure that out. Like they don't even have opposable thumbs.
So it's gonna. I think this one.
Yeah. So it goes to Pinhead.
Which I think
This is going a lot
Pinhead
faster than
might
I
end
thought.
up
Okay.
our winner of our whole.
All right. I think that this one's gonna be the hardest one.
Okay.
Candyman versus Jason.
Yeah, this is gonna be. I think this one and the next one are gonna be very difficult to discuss.
I think the next one's definitely gonna be difficult, but this one, like, I just don't know how we're gonna do. I think Candyman wins.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, if Jason can, the question is, can Jason grab him? Because Jason's.
No.
Because can Candyman be killed? That's the other question.
I mean, when Candyman himself is the essence of death, like, he's already dead.
Yeah, well, Candyman is the. Yeah, I'm not going to go into it right now.
Well,
we can do a whole other
there's
episode.
There's not much to go into. Like, Candyman, Candyman only exists because someone died, right? So, like, he can't die again. Well, no, he can't die again, really, because we see him die in the first one, but then he's back.
But can Jason incapacitate him to a point where he's not useful anymore?
I don't think so. But
Jason can't summon him, so Candyman would have to be acting on his own will.
Yeah, well, we're taking this as like a point of like Candyman's already summoned.
Yeah. It's like Pam summoned Candyman or something.
Well, no, it's just because it's like we're just taking these characters and putting them in a matchup, right? So they don't need to be summoned. Like, technically speaking, Pinhead has to be summoned, you know?
Yeah, but Death Angel doesn't have thumbs to use the lament configuration.
Exactly, right? Like, so it's more so just I am an eternal being, and I'm taking these two characters and pitting them against each other. So they're just already out there. Okay. So in the original, Candyman, actually I think the original is the only one where Candyman. Oh well, no, he dies in the second and third movie.
That shouldn't even exist though.
He dies in the second in a really weird way. He like breaks apart like glass because like they broke a mirror. It's a really bad effect. I don't know, but in the first one, he dies because he burns up again. Right, that's like what kills him is the fire. So I mean, because we've never seen Jason set fire to a place, so he's not going to be
smart enough.
No, he's not going to. Yeah, no, Jason's the beautiful boy, and we love him, but
he's not very intelligent.
He didn't pass grade 2. He passed during grade 2, but he didn't pass grade 2.
Because he drowned.
So, well, did he drown?
That's another.
Did he drown or did he not drown? I have no clue. And so, I don't know. I'm gonna say Candyman.
I guess because I don't think Candyman can die.
No, Candyman can't die. And the thing is,
because I'm not looking at like.
Well, actually, no. I'm gonna 100% say Candyman because like he can levitate. He can like, I'm not teleport, but like he can like move around really swiftly
through any reflective surface.
Yeah, and like with his hook, like he can just take his hook, drag it up Jason's back. Because the thing is, Jason can die if you inflict enough damage upon him.
I mean, the bees also exist.
The bees as well. Like he could probably use the bees to sting him, and then like decapitate him in some way.
I mean, if you sting him enough in a hand, he's gonna drop the machete.
Yeah, because I think like a decapitation is pretty much the most solid way to kill Jason.
I mean, we see Candyman in the newest movie. I'm trying to think of what the kill was with the art gallery guy, but didn't he drag it all the way up his...
Yeah, no, like one of his most famous kills is like dragging it up like someone's sternum or like dragging it up behind them,
which implies that he's breaking the bone and like that.
Yeah, no, he's strong.
So I'm just gonna say Candyman has
Okay.
the strength.
All right, Candyman. Yeah, okay, yeah, that works for me. Okay, so the next one is Michael Myers versus a Predator, just a generic Predator.
Just funny because I'm a fan of the Predator franchise.
Yes.
Not so much Halloween.
Well, that's the problem.
You're a fan of the Halloween franchise, not as much Predator.
Well, it's not that I'm not a fan of the Predator. I just have only seen the first movie. I enjoyed the first movie. So I've seen the first movie and enjoyed it.
Well, there's only one other one that's really worth watching.
Oh. Well, then you're not that big of a fan.
I am a fan. I've seen them all.
Okay. I'll allow it.
I'm just a toxic.
I'm going to say Predator wins.
Yeah, as much as I want to say Michael...
Well, Michael's cool and all, but is he a alien who was bred for hunting?
The only thing we've ever seen actually kill predators are other predators Arnold Schwarzenegger.
To be fair, Arnold's stronger than
to
Michael.
be fair, in the Predators,
Okay, yeah.
we saw one Predator die from a slash to the belly.
Really? Oh, well, I guess they are just like they're just like better humans.
And we saw another one die from I can't remember what the other one died from. I think he just got shot a bunch of times in the face.
That makes sense. I mean, actually no. Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't kill the one in the original. The one in the original blew himself up.
Oh right.
Because he was about to get caught.
Well, he was good. He was also really close to death.
So yeah, and so Arnold Schwarzenegger, I would argue, is stronger than Michael Myers.
Probably. I mean, he's like a 3-time Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
So.
And especially in that movie. I mean, okay, Michael Myers definitely has a more regenerative abilities.
I think the big trump card that the Predator has is plasma caster.
Well, like any of his gadgetry.
Because
right? Like Michael at most has like probably his best weapon he's ever used is a scalpel. And that's just because scalpels are insanely sharp.
Yeah, but I'd argue that his knife is probably the best because it gives you a lot.
That's true. It gives you more range. Well, I mean, he's also used a scythe at one point.
He uses a light bar to kill somebody in Halloween Kills.
Yeah, there's that. Well, that's the thing. He can use anything around him, but he just uses household objects, right? So like, it's not like he has like a freaking plasma caster, or like even like some of the more tame weapons Predator has. You know, like they're still
spear, wrist gauntlets.
Yeah.
I think even if Michael gets close, it's not like. I mean, he's outclassed in fighting skill and weaponry.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's hard to determine at what point Michael is dead. But I would say as soon as he's decapitated, he's dead.
The Predator also has a net.
I mean, yeah.
He's got a really strong net.
I guess.
We saw the net, like, pierce into somebody's skin. Like, cut them open.
Right, yeah, that net, okay.
Yeah, he's got that net.
So yeah, I think Predator wins this one. Just out of pure technological advancements.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is going through really, really quickly here. Okay, so next up is the Miner versus Pinhead.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But
this didn't work out well.
You know, Hell Priest.
Yeah.
Random dude.
More than just a random dude.
He's dead dude now.
He's dead.
He's a dead
He's
dude.
a dead random dude.
I mean, Pinhead might give him, like, the honor of being a Cenobite.
Although, hold on.
No.
The Miner could figure out the lament configuration.
Can he find it? Because the other configuration is in space.
I mean, he has, like, a gas mask on. He could breathe in space. He's got oxygen in there, right? Theoretically, you know.
Well, if he can figure, he not only has to figure out the lament configuration, he also has to figure out the other one, to do it.
Oh right, okay.
But by opening
right. Well, because it's the lament configuration, and what's the other one?
I can't even remember.
I can't remember. You're not a real fan. You're not a real fan. I'm hate
sorry,
you now.
I know.
But no, well, because he's a human, and okay, so when Hellraiser is defeated in his movies, he's defeated by humans.
Yeah, but he's also just turned back into a human. So then it's just human to human.
But
this is
when he's turned back into a human, the Miner could probably kill him.
You're also talking about him fighting against a World War I general. Because before
Wait, what?
Pinhead was a general in World War I. So he's a highly trained soldier from the.
I mean, is he though?
Yes, he was a highly trained soldier from the American Army.
Yeah, but World War I, how highly trained are you? I mean, because
he's trained in close quarters combat.
And the Miner is a miner.
I think in whatever situation you spin this, Pinhead wins. I'm sorry.
I'm rooting for the Miner. Well,
I was rooting for him too,
okay,
but I think in any situation you put it, Pinhead wins. The chains. All he needs is 1 second to literally rip him limb from limb. Yeah. We see. I know that Dead by Daylight is not canon.
No, but it can be taken from
for
inspiration.
I mean, you can literally see like him rip apart somebody's face with hook and hook, or you've seen him use other things. You've seen him use barbed wire. You've seen him use the chains. Yeah. He's got everything.
In my mind, the Miner still wins, but I'll let Pinhead win just because
you'll let him.
It's gonna be an outrage if he doesn't win. I still think the Miner's smart enough to do that, though.
I don't think the Miner's smart enough to beat both configurations, to beat the second configuration, because it's actually a lot.
Well, no, the Miner's from the 80s. You know, he knows what a Rubik's Cube is. He knows what a Rubik's Cube is.
Yeah, but then can you beat the highly trained soldier? Probably not.
No. All right. Anyway, so now we have Pinhead there for the next winner. All right. Next one is Candyman versus Predator.
Not a fan.
Not a fan of what?
This matchup.
The matchup? Oh, because they're both your like favorite horror characters. Yeah. I'm gonna say Candyman.
Well, it's going back to the same question of can he die?
He can die. I just don't think the Predator can kill him in the way needed for him to die.
Plasma caster could decapitate him. Because we've seen.
Well, I don't think decapitation's the way to go with it.
But you can literally
basically you have to destroy, destroy the spirit, kind of.
Okay, but nobody on this list can do that.
Exactly.
Except for Pinhead.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So Pinhead might beat him, but
the question is, because we see in Mortal Kombat X with Predator, in one of his fatalities, he uses the plasma caster and literally it makes a clear hole from the front of the head to the back of the head.
Yeah, well,
and we see in the first Predator movie, it takes off somebody's head clean.
Because the thing is, Candyman is still a ghost,
but he's
not human.
But he's susceptible to physical harm if he's in the real world.
But he's not though.
He is.
We never see him he burns in the fire, sure, but that's because of the symbolism. More so, this is a very weird and spiritual thing. Okay. I'm saying Candyman. I'm holding firm that Candyman can win on this because Predator is simply a stronger version of a human type of thing, and so Candyman can sneak up on him, and
I don't think he can sneak up on him.
You don't think so?
No. He's got such advanced hearing. He's got the heat tracking in the helmet. Mm-hmm. He's got the camouflage.
Okay, yeah.
He can mimic voices. I mean, mimicking voice isn't going to do much, but he can mimic a voice of maybe someone that Candyman loves.
Personally, I would love to mimic the voice of Candyman.
Tony Todd.
I would love to sound like Tony Todd.
But I don't think Predator wins this, but I think it's closer than it feels.
I'm going to stick with Candyman here.
I think Candyman does win, but Predator...
I think it's going to be a really close match. Because, keep in mind, we're getting into the really heavy hitters now going against each other. And so I think it's probably going to be a match that goes on for a while, but ends in Candyman getting the upper leg just because Predator does something to mess up a little bit and Candyman catches him in that moment.
Predator's there because he wants a trophy.
Exactly. Well, and it's going to be hard to take Candyman as a trophy when he was already taken as a trophy by the police.
The motivation is literally, me want trophy, me Predator.
Well, then in that case, Candyman wins.
Because this is a Predator who has his
Candyman's
plasma
motivation
caster.
is I was brutally murdered. And I don't know. What do you think? Do you think Predator's racist?
No.
No? Okay, well then he'll have that on him, I guess.
Where did this go?
No racism.
No. Predator's literally, assuming this is a Predator with a plasma caster, he's gone through his coming of age thing by killing a xenomorph, which we've seen.
Haven't we all?
Right?
Actually,
but
not yet.
He's
next month.
He's literally just here for a trophy because he's like, oh, this is a cool prey. I want it.
All right. Okay. So Candyman.
Unfortunately.
What do you mean, unfortunately?
Well, I don't know. I think
Candyman 2021 is your favorite horror.
It is, but Predator got dumped in such a hard side of the bracket.
Well, I'm sorry.
Having to fight Michael and Candyman.
Okay, well, he's tired. Let him rest.
In the ground.
All right. Final matchup: Pinhead versus Candyman.
Ooh. Yeah, this is our finale.
This is our finale, and I think we should have known that this was going to come down to it.
I had a feeling it was going to be Pinhead versus Predator or Pinhead versus Candyman.
Yeah.
So we got Hell Priest versus Essence.
So they're both undead.
Well, yeah, it's Hell Priest versus Essence of.
And they're both
whatever.
These are both Clive Barker's creations.
I think the only one who could kill Candyman was Freddy, aside from Pinhead.
No, we had Candyman beat Freddy.
But that'd be the only other close matchup. Candyman
beat Freddy,
it was Candyman beat Freddy.
So, Pinhead or Candyman? Just gonna ask you straight up right now.
It's hard. I'm gonna give it to Pinhead. I think he's more powerful. He's smarter, I think. I think he's smarter.
Why does Clive Barker have to make such good character?
He's smarter.
Yeah.
He's has more weapons at his disposal.
I guess he's smarter because, at his core, Candyman's just a slave.
I'm going to say this.
And they didn't get much education.
Just kind of a trump card, which I haven't pulled yet. Pinhead can drag somebody to hell.
Candyman's already in hell, I would argue.
He's still in the realm of the living.
He's in between. He's in the mirror realm.
Pinhead can drag him to hell. If he can grab him, he can drag him to hell. Which Candyman loses when he's down.
Okay. I'll allow it to be given to Pinhead.
It's close though, and I knew
it is close.
I knew including Pinhead would create.
And I think the fact that it's close proves that Clive Barker is amazing at creating characters. Although I think that can also, Clive Barker directed the first Hellraiser movie, right? Yeah, and then
he was involved in all of them up till 4, I think, and then the franchise just dipped.
Oh, it dipped before that, Nick.
It dipped after. Well, no.
All right, so
1, 2, and 3 were good.
Sure. All right.
You've never seen it.
No, I'll watch them eventually. It's a long ass series.
Yeah.
All right, so Pinhead v Candyman, winner
Pinhead.
So out of all of these characters, Pinhead won, which we probably could have seen coming. For any of you guys that place bets out there, you should have bet on Pinhead. If not, you're out of a lot of money right now. But with that, we need to wrap this up just a little quickly here. And so that's really all we have left. Pinhead won. If you guys think someone else should have won, like Candyman, comment it down below. Tell us about it. Give us your reasons for argument. And if you had a problem with any of these other ones, make sure to tell us. I think that's really all I have to say. Do you have anything else you want to say?
Yes. Stay tuned for the next episode. I believe it's going to be daytime horror. So
that one might be the episode after. That one might be the episode.
Stay tuned. We're going to be becoming more consistent.
We're going to actually be consistent now. We say until we aren't consistent.
Yeah, we'll be here for the next couple months, and then
we'll see. We'll see. All right. That's all we have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you guys all next time on the spooky side.